In today's video, we're gonna be looking at 10 of the most disturbing interviews with serial killers. Let's get right to it. Tommy Lynn Watson, a man believed to have taken the lives of around 70 people, faced execution in 2014. His horrific acts made him one of the most notorious killers in history.
The first time I did a shot of dope, it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. The first time I killed somebody, it was such a rush.
Among his most chilling crimes was the brutal murder of Darden family on November 18, 1987. Watson began his spree by shooting Russell Darden, a 29-year-old husband and father. He then turned his violence on Russell's wife, Elaine, a 30-year-old mother, assaulting her in an unspeakable manner. The horror didn't end there. He then used a baseball bat to take the life of their innocent 2-year-old son, Peter. Tragically, he then went on to kill the couple's newborn baby girl as well. In a later interview with a journalist, Watson spoke with a cold detachment that still haunts those who have seen it.
What did you do to her, sir?
Her neck was cut
How did you do that?
with a knife.
It remains one of the most disturbing interviews ever recorded, a glimpse into the chilling mind of a remorseless killer.
How many people have you killed?
Lord, I don't know.
20?
Probably.
30?
It's up there.
Richard Ramirez is often regarded as one of the most terrifying serial killers in history. His crimes were not only shockingly brutal, but also carried an unnerving sense of what many described as pure evil.
Do you admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another.
This perception was only amplified during his infamous interviews, where his demeanor and words left a lasting impression. One of these interviews, conducted by author Mike Watkis, revealed a glimpse of the volatile rage simmering beneath Ramirez's calm exterior.
You didn't kill 13 people.
Again, it would be improper for me to comment in any regard to that question.
His measured but tense responses to Watkins' probing questions hinted at a barely restrained anger, made even more evident by his controlled yet heavy breathing.
I'll tell you what, I gave up on love and happiness a long time ago.
Why?
I don't care to explain.
In another chilling exchange during an Inside Edition interview, Ramirez casually stated his belief in the existence of evil within humanity.
I believe in the evil in human nature. This is a wicked world.
The way he delivered this line, matter of fact and void of remorse, left an unsettling impression, cementing his image as a figure of darkness.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil. Evil has always existed. Perfect world most people seek.
Charles Manson, the notorious leader of the Manson family cult, remains one of history's most infamous criminals. His numerous interviews, widely available online, offer a disturbing glimpse into his psyche.
You guys got this stuck in your head that I've murdered somebody. You've got it stuck in your brain that I murdered somebody.
In many of these recordings, Manson's erratic behavior and unsettling presence are evident, leaving viewers with a profound sense of unease. One particularly chilling interview from 1987, conducted by a Today's correspondent, stands out. During this exchange, Manson expressed a lack of remorse for his actions, stating, "I wouldn't do anything that I feel guilty about."
You don't feel guilty at all?
There's no need to feel guilty. I haven't done anything I'm ashamed of. Maybe I haven't done enough. I might be ashamed of that, for not doing enough.
His subsequent comments delve deeper into his distorted worldwide, offering unsettling insights that continue to haunt those who have watched the footage. Throughout the interview, Manson's lack of remorse and his justifications for his actions are chilling. He spoke of his beliefs and philosophies with conviction, presenting himself as a misunderstood prophet rather than a criminal.
If I wanted to kill somebody, I'd take this book and beat you to death with it, and I wouldn't feel a thing. It'd be just like walking to the drugstore.
Ted Bundy, one of history's most notorious serial killers, provided a chilling confession about the 1974 abduction and murder of 18-year-old University of Washington student Georgian Hawkins. Faking injury, Bundy used crutches and dropped a briefcase to solicit Hawkins' help in carrying it to his car. Once at the vehicle, he incapacitated her with a hidden crowbar and abducted her.
And about halfway down the block, I encountered her and asked her to help me carry the briefcase, which she did, and we walked back up the alley.
This just underscored his manipulative and remorseless nature. In his confession, Bundy detailed how he lured Hawkins by pretending to struggle with his briefcase and crutches, exploiting her willingness to assist.
Basically, when we reached the car, what happened was I knocked her unconscious with the crowbar.
Did she see it?
No.
After striking her with the crowbar, he placed her unconscious body into his vehicle and drove away. During the drive, Hawkins regained consciousness and began speaking incoherently about an upcoming Spanish test, possibly under the delusion that Bundy was helping her study. To silence her, Bundy struck her again, knocking her unconscious.
She said that she thought that she had a Spanish test the next day, and she thought that I had taken her to help tutor me for a Spanish test. That I again knocked her unconscious.
Upon reaching a secluded location near Lake Sammamish, Bundy strangled Hawkins to death with a piece of rope.
And strangled her. And drug her into cord. An old piece of rope.
John Wayne Gacy, notorious for the murders of at least 33 young men and boys, often exhibited sociopathic tendencies during interviews, frequently deflecting blame for his crimes.
Go ahead and kill me, but vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, because you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
In one particularly unsettling interview, Gacy paradoxically claimed he opposed hitting or spoiling children. The interviewer highlighted the stark irony of this statement, given Gacy's heinous actions.
I don't believe in hitting children. I don't believe in spoiling a child either.
During the same conversation, Gacy chillingly demonstrated the rope technique he used to strangle his victims, providing a disturbing glimpse into his methods.
All you do is you wrap it around, you put one knot in it, and I said then you put a second knot in it, stick it in here, and you just turn this, and I says it causes a tourniquet.
In a 1992 interview with CBS 2's Walter Jacobson, Gacy spent over 2 hours attempting to portray himself as a misunderstood victim of circumstance, showcasing his manipulative nature. Gacy's ability to present himself as a respectable member of society while secretly committing such atrocities underscores the complexity and danger of his character.
They paint the image that I was this monster who picked up like these altar boys along the street and swatted them like flies. I said, this is ludicrous.
Jeffrey Dahmer, one of history's most notorious serial killers, exhibited a disturbing desire for absolute control over individuals he found attractive. In interviews, he revealed his compulsion to dominate his victims completely, expressing a twisted longing to transform them into submissive entities.
There was a big element of wanting complete control over someone, total control. being able to keep them there as long as I wanted.
Dahmer's macabre attempts to create zombies involved drilling holes into his victims' skulls and injecting substances like acid or boiling water, aiming to induce a permanent submissive state. These gruesome experiments, however, failed to achieve the desired outcome, leading to the deaths of his victims.
That's why I tried to create living zombies with uric acid in the drill.
Dahmer's confessions provide a chilling insight into his psyche, revealing a man driven by a perverse need to possess and control others completely. His methodical and calculated approach to these heinous acts underscores the depth of his depravity. The clinical manner in which he described these procedures during interviews further highlights his detachment and lack of remorse.
It took more and more deviant type behaviors to satisfy my urges, and so it just spiraled out of control.
On the night of May 19, 1983, Diane Downs stopped her car on a secluded road and committed an unthinkable act. She shot her 3 children multiple times before turning the gun on herself, inflicting a superficial wound to her arm. Diane then sped to the nearest hospital, claiming her family had been ambushed by a stranger.
There was a guy standing in the road, flagging me down, so I stopped. Everything was done in a matter of 5 or 10 seconds. He swung himself around and fired twice. One caught me in the arm.
Tragically, her 70-year-old daughter, Sherelle, was pronounced dead on arrival. Danny, just 3 years old, was left paralyzed, and 8-year-old Christy clung to life with critical injuries. Authorities launched an intense investigation and uncovered a chilling motive. Diane, it seemed, had viewed her children as obstacles to a romantic relationship and sought to eliminate them. In February 1985, she was arrested and charged with murder, attempted murder, and assault. The most unsettling aspect of Diane's case is her demeanor.
I looked at Christy reaching, and the blood that just kept gushing out of her mouth, and what do you do?
In multiple interviews, she described the horrific events with a disturbingly casual tone, often smiling or laughing as she recounted the crime.
Well, I don't feel very lucky. I couldn't tie my damn shoes for about 2 months. It is very painful. It is still painful. The scar is going to be there forever. I'm going to remember that night for the rest of my life, whether I want to or not.
Her lack of remorse and eerie composure continue to haunt those who have watched these interviews, solidifying her as one of the most chilling figures in criminal history.
I can see Christy reaching her hand out to me while I'm driving, and the blood just keep coming out of her mouth. That haunts me the most.
Issei Sagawa's story is one of the most disturbing in modern history. The most infamous chapter of his life unfolded in 1981 while he was a student in Paris. Sagawa had developed an obsession with Renee Hartveld, a Dutch classmate he invited to his apartment under the guise of working on a literary project.
これがバスルームですね。ここでルネを遺体を解体しました。ここに座っていて、僕は後ろから撃ち殺したんです。
It was there that Sagawa executed his horrific plan. He shot Renee with a rifle, and over the course of several days, he chopped and consumed parts of her body. His goal, as he later described, was to observe her beauty and fulfill a lifelong fantasy of cannibalism.
エッチな気持ちっていうか、セックス、まあもちろんセックス、彼女の足なんか太ももなんか見ると美味しそうだなと思って。
Arrested after attempting to dispose of her remains, Sagawa was declared legally insane in France and deported to Japan. where he avoided prosecution due to legal loopholes.
どうやってこの遺体を片付けるか。ちょうど6月っていうとパリ一番暑い時で、腐るその匂いが怖かったんですね。すぐにバレると。とにかくそれを片付け。
What makes his case even more chilling is his lack of remorse. In interviews, including one with Vice, Sagawa described his crime in graphic detail, speaking with unsettling candor.
そういう変な妄想が再び姿を現してしまうのではないかという恐れにおののいています。
Eileen Wuornos's final interview on the evening of her execution is unsettling for many reasons. In her last moments, she made shocking claims, alleging that authorities were aware of her first murder, but deliberately turned a blind eye, allowing her to continue her killing spree.
The cops knew who I was. After Richard Mallory died, I left prints everywhere, and they covered it up and let me kill the rest of those guys to turn me into a serial killer.
Despite leaving clear evidence like fingerprints, she insisted that no action was taken. She also spoke of her mistreatment in prison and the harsh realities she faced throughout her life, painting a picture of profound betrayal and systemic failure.
Couldn't even get a fair investigation or nothing. Couldn't even have my appeals right. You sabotaged my ass, society, and the cops, and the system.
As the interview progressed, her emotions escalated and she lashed out, accusing society of exploiting her story for films and profit, claiming she had been manipulated and discarded.
A raped woman got executed and was used for books and movies and shit. Ladder climbs, her election, everything else.
The most chilling moment came at the end, as she delivered her last haunting words. "I'll be back."
You don't take fucking human life like this and just sabotage and rip it apart like Jesus on the cross and say thanks a lot for all the fucking money I made off of you. And not care about a human being and the truth being told.
Gary Ridgway, infamously known as the Green River Killer, ranks among the most notorious serial killers in American history. In a chilling interview with Mary Allen Otsu, Ridgway revealed his calculated methods for luring his victims, speaking with unnerving calmness.
My ID would be I'd put my finger over my driver's license to hide my name, but on the opposite side was a picture of my son. They would know I was probably a normal person.
He described how he would gain their trust, often by presenting himself as a non-threatening or harmless. What makes his crime even more disturbing is how he sometimes used his young son as a tool to put women at ease. His victims, primarily women, were unaware they were stepping into the clutches of a predator until it was too late.
Matthew was next to me in the seat and she hopped in and my son was there and I killed her. I'm real sure my son didn't see it.
Ridgway's matter-of-fact demeanor as he recounted these acts underscores the depth of his depravity. His ability to manipulate and exploit the trust of others solidified his place as one of history's most chilling figures.
It's like a family setting. My son's picture on the backside, and they'd see that, and that would lower any big defenses.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for weekly top 10 videos. Also, let me know in the comments which one of these interviews you found the most disturbing. And also, make sure to check out these videos right here for more top 10 videos.